the rules of a decent, acceptable society.
Wow.
Really?
Because you thought I was
An ass.
Hello, Dark Gift. Welcome to Am I an Asshole?
Hello, Dylan. Thank you for having me on.
That's not even the name of the show. Am I the asshole? Not am I an asshole?
I know. I tried to correct you without like pointing it out, but you had to point it out.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah, this show is where we take a couple of stories from Reddit. People that are not sure whether or not they're an asshole. They're being an asshole in a situation, in a given situation with specific parameters. Now, we don't want to hear their entire life story, so we take the story that's presented. Sometimes we extrapolate. Sometimes it's obvious that there's more to the story.
Yeah, sometimes
it's not so
really obvious.
Right. So what I want to do is I want to apologize first and foremost that I haven't been around too much. I've been very, very busy, locked away, completing projects. And now I'm very, very busy, not locked away, very public, completing projects. How do you feel about that, DG?
It's very good. We like having you back, but we are ecstatic for the work that you've been doing behind the scenes. So,
oh, great. I'm glad to be back. So what I want to do is start off with a story right away. So we have something here to chew on. And it's the first story I came across. And I thought it was very interesting. So let's check it out here.
Sure.
Me and my husband. This is a 35-year-old woman, 37-year-old man. We've been married for 3 years. We don't have children, nor have we ever wanted children. And we love our child-free life. My sister, my younger sister, has 3 girls, 13, 9, and 7. I love them very much, but I've never been the aunt that wants to spend the night or spend more than a couple of hours with them. They stress me out. All kids do. My sister is an addict, and my niece's dad is currently in prison. Their grandma, who is also my mother, but I have no contact with, has guardianship of the kids. That's a story we'll save for another post. My sister, who comes in and out of the girls' lives, has had nothing to do with me. Once in a while, she'll reach out and say hi, but that's more like 2 times a year, even though I reach out about once a week. Anyways, long story short, it's a very toxic family environment, and me and my husband just kind of stick to ourselves. Recently, the place they have all been living at has been sold. And we're told in November that they have until January 31st to be out. So today, January 23rd, they had my 13-year-old niece call me and tell me that they're not going to have anywhere to live if I don't take them in. Yes, they had the 13-year-old call me and say that. I don't know what to do. I don't want to change up mine and my husband's life. I love the way our life is. I'm so mentally drained, and I don't want responsibility, and I don't feel like it's mine. But I also feel guilty. I've been doing this for years, dealing with others' messes. Both my parents were addicts, and it's the same toxic cycle with my sister. Am I an asshole for telling my sister no to taking in her kids?
Just the kids?
Well, probably not. Because to me, what this is saying basically is this is, do you have, because this lady couldn't be any more disconnected from her blood family.
Right.
But is there some sort of tether that cannot be
obligation?
Broken? Yeah.
I mean, if it's the kids and it's January, I mean, you could put a limit. You could be like, listen, you guys have a month, like, otherwise then you guys are going to have to go into, social services, so that gives grandma and sister a month to get their shit somewhere so they can get these kids. You know what I mean?
Right. What up, Fish Chozo? What's up, Praetor? Hello,
Hey
Mark.
guys.
Welcome.
I mean, that's if it's just the kids. If it's not just the kids and they want like grandma and sister to come along too, then I can kind of see like, hey, I'll put you up in a hotel for like a couple of nights till you get figure shit out.
Oh, hold on a second. Hotels are expensive.
Well, okay, motel.
Hold on a second.
Come on, they're addicts.
Guest
I'm sure
rooms
they
are
do a couple of
free.
dives. I mean, but yeah, how much does she love her life with her husband? You know what I mean? Is it worth $120 for 2 nights in a motel?
I don't know if you've ever, I don't know how wealthy you grew up, Anthony, but normally people that are addicts or, this house got sold out from under them, right? The house they were renting. So likely her mom, right, her drug addict mom, who's guardian over her grandkids, and the grandkids are getting the boot.
Right.
They were told in November to be out. Come January 23rd, they got about 7 days left until they got to be out. 8 days. They still haven't found any place to be. I don't know if you know anything about drug addicts. They don't really.
Yes, I do.
They don't have a lot of get up and gumption and get up and go. So 2 or 3 nights at a hotel ain't gonna do nothing.
No, but it'll relieve your, your familial guilt. Like you did what you did what you were more than willing to do. Or take them in. I mean, or don't. I mean, either way, they're going to be on the street at some point. If you give them 2 nights in a motel room, at least you said you did something, and you can wash your hands of the guilt.
Praetor says these people need Jesus. No, they need a place to stay.
Oh shit! Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Because moving, I don't know. I think maybe it's just how I grew up, but moving is a bigger deal to me than it is to most people. It's a big fucking deal. Moving is like, God damn, this is like one of these big life-changing things that needs to be really thought out before you pull the trigger on. Then when moving happens, you're moving your fucking whole life. You're moving your entire life with you wherever you go. Like when you move, that's when fucking birth certificates get lost. When you move, that's when engagement rings that are, keepsakes and photo albums. That's when that shit gets lost or damaged or ruined. That's when you end up fucking putting a big gouge in your fucking beautiful kitchen table is when you move. Like you don't want to move that often. Moving sucks.
That's why I bought the house. Landlord was like, I want to sell. You want to buy it? Or otherwise you're going to be out in 6 months. I was like, all right, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Praetor says, moving is a massive deal to me. It sounds like it ain't much for kids, sadly. Like when you're a kid, right? When you're, I'm even going to use this loosely. When you're like first moving out of your house when you're a kid, right? Like you're that's a big fucking deal. But you do it because, you're excited about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you're like, oh no, this is a tragedy. It's like, no, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here,
Right, yeah, when you're like 18, 19, 20, whatever, and you're moving out for the first time, yeah.
Now you're having a great time. But when you like where you're at, fuck, moving is the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're comfortable, you've accumulated like 15 years worth of shit,
Mm-hmm. So, I think it is 100% your responsibility to take in your nieces and nephews, not your mother. I think so too. And you needed, and I think in this particular situation, it's I will basically have you guys, all of you, if this were me, right? I would say the 3 kids and the mother, y'all can move in, and you got 2 months, 3 months maybe, to get some housing set up. Otherwise, you got to get going. Right. Now, if you want these kids to have a place, they can stay, but you got to go. and I'll take care of these kids, but you sign that guardianship over to me.
Right.
Because I'm not going to have these kids
and
around.
sister can't come. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Right. I'm not going to be having kids that I can't take. What if the kid starts walking funny and starts being pigeon-toed? I can't take him to the doctor. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I need full guardianship custody of these kids. I need to be able to take him to the dentist. I need to be able to put him in and pull him out of school. I need all that shit. I'm not going to be dealing with you.
Right.
So you can come in here, get yourself set up. You got 3 months. Other than that, you got to go. But if you want these kids to be taken care of, I'll keep them. Otherwise, y'all go, and I hope the best for you. Under no circumstances would I be like, I'm calling CPS, whatever. Now, if they want services, they can go and get services, and CPS will get involved automatically.
Right. That's what I meant, really. Yeah.
Huh?
When I said earlier about like calling like shelter or services, that's kind of what I meant. Like, I'm sure there's something that can be done where, they don't go into the system and go into foster homes. You know what I mean?
Right. There are services, temporary services, and long-term services for people that are taking care of children.
Yeah.
But if you want to be cagapalo and you want to have your drugs and you want to, no, it's not going to work. You can't. It's not going to work. They're going to test you.
Every day. Maybe every day, depending on where you're at. How severe the situation is.
Yeah. So, that's my 2 cents on this. So is she the asshole for telling her sister no? She's not taking her kids? Yeah, I think she is.
Yeah.
I think she's being a straight up asshole. Dumb fucking twat. Hey, Eagle 43. Eagle 43. What's going on? Oh, we're doing an Am I the Asshole show. These are stories from Reddit of people who are unsure whether or not in this situation they're being assholes. So they come to ask me. And DG, am I an asshole? All right. Let's move on to the next story.
Sounds like a plan.
My nephew is 15 years old, and he comes to stay with me every summer for a few weeks. He's recently taken up the hobby of drawing, and as soon as he came to stay with me, he asked me if he could use my comics to get inspiration for his own drawings. I said yes. Since I still have to work every day, he spends about 9 hours a day alone. When I come home, he shows me his drawings, and they look really, really good. One day, he showed me an extremely elaborate drawing that I recognized. And I said something like, wow, this looks exactly like the comic. How did you do that? And he said, well, like all of my drawings, I traced it. I almost blacked out when he said that. I went to my comic collection and started opening them up, and I saw traces of pen all over them. Some of the pages were slightly torn in places because he pressed too hard with the pen. He spent about 3 weeks drawing every day for hours, and he traced the pen over about half of my comic collection. My initial reaction was pretty bad. I got really angry and shouted at him. I told him he was too old to be doing stupid shit like this, and that he should know better than to ruin other people's things. Well, when I separated all of the ruined comics, I calculated they cost about $600. I told him I was going to tell his mom, and he begged me not to. He said he had some money saved up, and I asked if he can buy the comics off me. He said he had $400, and that he would save and give me the other $200 in a few months. But I said he could have them for $300. When his parents joined us last week, his mom noticed he was missing $300. She knew he had $400 because he said he would get some new clothes and look for art supplies in my city. She asked him what he had bought that was so expensive, and he eventually told her the truth. Then my sister and her husband freaked out on me for, quote, taking money from a child, and demanded I give it back. I said I was already doing them a favor by forgiving him half the cost. They said he needs that money, And I said they can reimburse him since they didn't bother teaching him not to destroy other people's property. Then she said, "It's only comics, you 30-year-old baby." My sister and brother in law were supposed to stay with us for a week, and my nephew for another 3 weeks. But they all went home together after 2 painfully silent days. In the end, my parents got involved and told me off for stealing money that they gifted him. My sister took the comics and said, I can have them back when I give them the money back. So never. And I said that my nephew can come back to stay with me when she realizes she's unnecessarily punishing him by taking him home. They live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and I live in a big city on the coast. We haven't spoken in a week now. Is he an asshole?
No. No. The parents should, number one, he was right. Shouldn't be going in and touching other people's shit and fucking it up. And number two, kid obviously learned the lesson of retribution. Like, you fuck up and you need to pay. Not be coddled by your parents. He's 15 years old. He's not 10. Kid's in high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he gave him a break. He took a $300 loss.
I'm sorry, I'm taking a drink of this delicious ice cold Diet Coke.
That's right. Eagle Rider says, I would have taken the 4.
That's the only thing that I have a problem with. Is that it sounds to me like he deliberately didn't involve the kid's parents because the kid didn't want his parents involved, but that's not the kid's choice. He's not an adult. He's an older kid, but 15 ain't 16 and 16 ain't 18. You know what I mean?
Right. It seemed like he was trying to be the cool uncle and it backfired in his
He was
face.
trying to be the cool uncle by also being a prick. If he was being a cool uncle, I mean, what the fuck is $600? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, being the cool uncle and still teach the kid a lesson. I mean, obviously, it wasn't really the money, right? Because if it was really the $600 and the value of the comics, he would have been like, "Yeah, save up the other 200 and get it to me when you got." You know what I mean? He was more like, he probably knows his sister and brother-in-law are fucking flakes, and they coddle the kid, and that's why the kid's the way he is. And he was probably trying to teach a little bit to him at the same time, cutting him a break and not getting him in trouble. Kratos says cool uncles don't teach lessons. That's not true. I have a cool uncle that basically taught me all the lessons I needed to learn. Well, not all. I shouldn't say all. Yeah.
Yeah, we need verification of the value of the comics. See, that's another thing that bothers me about this story. He says, when I calculated, they cost about $600. That does absolutely not mean that they are worth $600. I calculated that they cost about $600.
Well, right. I mean, did he use like a price?
No, he's probably using the cover price.
That's a lot of commerce if it's just a cover price.
Well, he was drawing all day, every day for like 2 weeks. Let's see here. Yeah, he had been drawing for about 3 weeks every day for hours, and he traced a pen about half of my comics. So $600, you get what, $4? Let me get my calculator out here and do some actual math. Let's see. Let's say the average comic is $4. Times that by
100.
About 100 comics. About 150 comics.
Yeah. That's a lot of comics to ruin.
It is a lot of comics to ruin, yeah.
That's why I'm thinking maybe he like priced them. Like, oh shit, he colored in my like Wolverine #1, which is worth $50, and you know what I mean, like.
And also,
Oh, yeah.
that also
Pray
pisses
to-
me off. It also pisses
to-
me off right here.
Yeah.
This comment right here. I went to my comic collection and started opening them up. Blah, 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 blah. So, when I separated all of the ruined comics, I calculated they cost about $600. Unless this seems like a fucking total fucking shit dickhead move. Like just a smarmy dickhead thing to do. You don't think?
No, I think he did the right thing. I think the kid was put in a hard place. He did the right thing by telling his mom the truth eventually. I think this kid is coddled by his parents, and the uncle let him off the hook. See, I'm thinking of it like this. I'm thinking of it. He says he's got a collection. I'm thinking he's got he's like John's long box over here with like boxes and boxes of comics, and this kid grabbed a bunch of old comics and drew on them. So maybe it was like 30 comics that he drew on, but they were all pricey. You know what I mean? And he let him off the hook. He bit $300. He said, "All right, you know." The kid didn't tell him he had to use that money for something else. Maybe if he did, maybe if the kid said, "Mom, mom wants me to buy art supplies and clothes for school."
Yeah, he was supposed to buy clothes for school. This was not his money that he quote unquote saved up.
Right. So I mean, the kid wasn't 100% honest.
He said, "I have some money saved up. Could I buy the comics off of you?" This is like this. It seems to me like it's not malicious. The kid saying, "I got some money saved up," and asked if he could buy the comics off of me, which means, which signals to me that this kid didn't think that he was, number one, ruining anything valuable. They were just comics to look at. He's not the kind of person that thinks that, oh, comics are collectibles and that I want mine in pristine condition. Be careful when you handle them, that sort of thing. They're just comic books for looking at, for tracing, for drawing on, maybe even doodling on. And you say, "Hey, newsflash, kid. The thing that you were fucking up are actually worth money." "Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I will pay for it." The kid volunteered to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be like, "Okay, you know what, dude? No, it was a mistake. You fucked my shit up. Don't do it again. Thank you." You don't fucking charge the kid. I'll charge you for half, and then keep it hush hush. Don't tell your mom and dad. What a fucking chicken shit uncle.
Well, the kid didn't want to tell the parents. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the kid was very upfront with telling the uncle. He didn't even think he was doing anything wrong. Well, I traced it. You what? And then the kid found out, oh, this guy, his comic books are something that he, really, really likes, and they're valuable. That's not something that everybody knows.
No, it's true. But you got to learn a lesson the hard way, man. Coughing up $300 on a $600 tab. Not a bad way to learn. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I feel like you're being a little soft on the kid. He's 15 years old. Kind of should have known better than to take the fucking comics and start drawing on them. Regardless if he understood
this poor kid lives in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. He had no idea that these comics were semi-valuable. I'm gonna put the question to the chat.
If the uncle was like, "Yeah, give me the 4 and then cough up the other 2. You got 2 months to get me the other 200." Then yeah, I'd say he's being a little bit of a dick. But the kid was like, "I'll give you 4. I'll give you 200 later," and he was like, "Nah, just give me 3. Keep 100 for yourself." Like I don't think this guy knew that the money was meant for something else. Like he was just thinking to himself, "I'll leave the kid with a few bucks in his pocket. He'll learn his lesson." And then I'll cover the other half, and I'll go to I'll fucking hunt these comics down and replace them. That's probably what he was thinking.
How much money did the kid have? 400?
Yeah,
Take 2.
I hear you. I mean, same concept, really. I mean, in his mind, he was telling them like, no, like keep some money in your pocket.
And that's pushing it. I would say take 100. God damn, this guy just, I don't know. There's just something about it that just makes me feel like he's being a fucking,
Because you're probably looking in your mind, you're probably seeing him as some like stereotypical SJW comic nerd.
oh, absolutely not. I'm seeing him 100% as like a fucking, like a John's Long Box or a Rex Christian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But just being like, oh, no. These are my things and they're precious.
Eagle saying take all 600.
But you're super rich. You live in the big city on the coast, and he lives in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Praetor says every comic was Squirrel Girl. Oh, you have a super chat.
Holy shit. Hold on a second. John, he's in school. He can't draw on his textbooks. Yeah. He doesn't have a choice.
No, I get what he's saying. He's like he's old enough to know that he shouldn't be drawing on this stuff.
I don't know. Kids see comic books the way almost, and this has happened to me personally with the Quaffs comic book. My daughter saw, as she was 3 at the time, 4. No, she might have been 4. No, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. She was 5 at the time, exactly 5 years old. And she thought that Quaffs comic book, it saw it as no different than a coloring book. And she colored pages of Shotgun Samurai. And tore pages out of the book. Because that's what you do with a coloring book. When you finish coloring it, you tear the page out and you show somebody. Like most kids that read comics don't ever get to the point where they're like, oh, these are valuable.
Yeah. Hatch says you're enabling bad behavior. I kind of agree. I don't think Dylan's as bad as the parents. I think the parents are just coddlers. Like their kid cannot do any wrong, and he should have every bailout. You know what I mean? Like just bail him out of every single thing that gets him in trouble. My mother was like, "What do you do? Does he need to go to jail?" Yeah. So.
All right, I'm gonna end this poll. We'll see what the chat has to say about it. Anthony Romano.
I didn't even open up YouTube to see what the chat had to say about it.
The poll was I was not even biased with the poll. I just put, is the uncle an asshole? Question.
Wow.
53% say yes, he's an asshole.
Really? How many votes?
13 votes.
How many people watching?
Less
12.
than 13. Chuck Reardon says the parents going after the uncle made it worse. Hatch says, y'all simps on this one.
Not me. I'd say the uncle did the right thing. He taught him a little bit of a lesson, but he didn't go too harsh on the guy.
You ruined my collection of valuable minerals. Eagle says, I think Dillard, the parents, and the uncle are all wrong. Charge the kid $800 for inflation.
Yeah, maybe the pricing guide is outdated.
Could be. All right. Let's move on to this last story here. It's a 30-year-old gay male. No, I'm sorry, never mind. My boyfriend. I mean, I think it is maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it feels
My
like they put the
boyfriend
H
has
in the wrong spot.
Yeah, my boyfriend has unkempt facial hair, particularly nose hairs and a unibrow. He has waxed before, but does not maintain it. He shaves his head and is generally overall good with skincare routines. Whenever I bring it up, talk about my own, or, I'd like to set up a wax, or ask him if he'd like help, he immediately shuts down and says that he would never commit or comment on my looks or my body, and that I should back off. So I do. And now I'm stuck dating the man with nose hairs and a unibrow. I find the resistance to it childish and not sexy. I understand his side of not wanting to be criticized and will try softer approaches, but to me, this doesn't fall under a body critique, but rather under general hygiene. Would he say the same thing if I was asking him to brush his teeth or wash his hands after using the bathroom? I'm not sure what to do next. Am I the asshole for insisting that he gets rid of the unibrow and nose hairs? I'm of two minds on this because to me, Anthony, unibrow and nose hairs are two entirely different things.
Mm-hmm.
A unibrow is what you're born with, and that's your look. Nose hair is general hygiene.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not even general. I wouldn't even consider put it in the general hygiene fact. I would consider it an aesthetic thing, but like, yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't want to be dating Abe Vigoda. You know what I mean? Like, fucking trim those nose hairs. Like at least once a month.
Because
I'm
if a
trimming nose hairs.
unibrow was such a turnoff, why did you make this dude your boyfriend to begin with?
Right.
He shaves his head and is generally good with overall skincare routines, but has a unibrow and nose hairs.
Yeah, I mean, is this guy like a neck beard? Does he have like a big bushy beard? You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's just his look. Maybe he's not a shaver. You know?
Well, he does say that he has unkept facial hair.
Yeah. So you get a new boyfriend, I guess. This is this guy's look. He doesn't want to. He's not looking for the fucking metrosexual look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because this guy seems like a kind of like a regular fella that has a unibrow.
Yeah.
Now, nose hairs,
I get,
you can do something, and nose hairs are actually uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Unibrows are not, and
Right.
unibrow is something that you're going to have to maintain constantly.
Yeah.
Whereas your nose hairs, you trim your nose hairs, and then you trim them again next week. A unibrow,
I don't even have to do them that often. Like once a month, I'm trimming my nose hair.
Right. But a unibrow is something you shave off, and then it's growing in the next day.
Yeah, you would be maintaining that. Like, oh yeah, I was gonna say like at least 3 times a week. You're fucking fixing that thing. At least minimum, depending on how hairy you are, more. Yeah,
Hatch says, does he ever tell her to keep herself? If not, leave the dude alone. Now, if this guy has fucking nose hairs that are coming out of his nose, more than like 1/8 of an inch, and they're fucking whistling Dixie over there, go fucking buy one of those machines and stick it in your nose, asshole. That's gross.
Like I said, yeah, you don't want to be dating Abe Vigoda with like fucking hair shooting out your ears and out your nose. I get it. Abe Vigoda was like 80 years old. You know what I mean? That was his look. He was like, I ain't shaving for shit. I ain't trimming my nose hairs.
Casey Anthony says, it adds to his character. Let my dude live. Praetor says, try dating a woman. Take him as he wants to be or move on, says Mark.
Right. I get the nose hair thing though, because I mean, if you're kissing and next thing you know, you're like, you got nose hair stuck in your teeth.
The fuck kind of kissing are you doing?
Well, I mean, if they're long and like fucking it gets stuck in your lip, and then it wiggles its way into your mouth, and then you know you're sitting there doing things. You know,
You're fucking sucking on somebody's nostrils. It's not how you kiss.
I mean, the way I'm picturing this guy's hair, like nose hair, like coming down and like intermingling with his mustache. You know what I mean? Like
I'm afraid. Dude. I'm a creative person, and mentally, I'm trying to envision how you would get somebody's nose hair stuck in your teeth. I'm not connecting the two dots.
I'm picturing some long ass nose hair.
John F76 says, I could understand his position if she was setting him up for a Brazilian wax job. Yeah, because if she's trying to get you to do gay shit, I'm gonna take you, you're gonna get a fucking pedicure, you're gonna get like your hairline waxed, you're gonna get like that's all gay shit. I'm not doing any of that. But nose hairs are simple. You can take care of that shit by yourself in your restroom, in the privacy of your own restroom.
Hell, old school barbers would do it for you. I mean, they do it with scissors, but they'd still do it for you.
Yeah, but that's borderline gay again if you go to a barber.
Well, I mean, if you're getting a shave, you know what I mean? Like, if you're already getting him to, like, you ever have where they put the towel on your face and they shave you with the straight edge and all that? Like, if you're doing that, just have him get in there. You know what I mean? Like, you already have him shaving you.
Hatch says, watch it be like one small nose hair. This is Reddit after all.
True.
That's why I said I'm of two minds about this, because unibrow, leave that shit alone. That's gonna be something that you're gonna have to maintain all the time.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah. Don't leave the guy's unibrow. Learn to love it or fucking move on, because that's not something that you're gonna get a straight male to like change his lifestyle to maintain eyebrows. That's homo. However, nose hairs is a reasonable request. So again, I'm of two minds about this, but I'll leave it to the chat. Say, is this person an asshole for, I don't know, how do I stake this? Eagle 43 says, I think she should buy a fake unibrow to match.
Is this person an asshole? Yeah, I don't know. Are you gonna try to like word it like in like a weird way, or?
No, I'm just saying, is this person an asshole for? Oh, insisting. That's how she said it. There we go. Is this person an asshole for insisting he shave his stuff? Start the poll. I'm saying yes and no, but I'm gonna err on the side of caution and say just yes, because one of these things, no. So not an issue, but one of these things, yes, you are being an asshole. So in this situation, I say asshole. Get over it. What is your final opinion, DG? Asshole or not asshole?
Yeah, asshole.
Asshole!
Casey says, shave that stuff. Hatch says, see, asshole is a strong word. It is a strong word. Let's see. Casey Anthony says that's borderline teabagging. No. I need you to shave. Trim those fucking nose hairs. But I don't need you to trim. your unibrow. That's just you.
John F76. My general rule of thumb is that people who write these things on Reddit are the assholes. Yeah, I feel like if you have to ask, most likely you are. But if you're being gaslit, maybe you need some outside opinions. Because there's the occasion where like we find the person not being an asshole. I don't think the last guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
I think this guy's an asshole.
All right. Looks like I'm going to have to end this poll prematurely because it's overwhelming.
Oh, is it?
Over 90%.
91%? Holy shit.
Fucking asshole.
What's the comment say?
Oh, you really want to know? Let's see. Let's take a look. Asshole. And now I'm stuck dating a man. You're the asshole. Well, you're not stuck. Find yourself a man that has fashion sense to your standards. You're the asshole. The presence of body hair does not inherently indicate uncleanliness. Ultimately, it is important to respect his choices regarding his body hair. And if you don't like it, you are not attracted to it, maybe it's time to let the relationship go. You're the asshole. You sound shallow and petty. Sculpting a unibrow is 100% a body critique and has nothing to do with hygiene. How would you feel if he was demanding you get a Brazilian on a regular basis and complaining about how he is stuck with his unhygienic girlfriend? You're the asshole. How on earth is a unibrow unhygienic? Would I rock one?
Yeah.
No, but for vanity reasons, not hygiene. You are free to dislike it, but framing it as hygiene issue is calling him childish is ridiculous. You're the asshole. Trying to associate long nose hairs and a unibrow with not being clean is actually pretty funny. You need to take a long look in the mirror, sister, over the next couple of days. Now, you're the asshole. If you don't like it, that's your problem. Do you not know this before you got into the relationship? Or was your thought that I can change him? It's almost universal.
I don't consider it a hygiene thing either. I mean, even the nose hair is not really a hygiene thing because the reason why you have nose hair is to make sure that the air going through, all dust particles and stuff, it's actually more sanitary to have nose hair, but it's unsightly. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Chuck says 12 votes, 12 years, but I didn't vote. I voted this time, Chuck. I did vote this time.
I don't know. I feel like it's not a hygiene thing as if it's like, unsanitary, but it is like a general, unsightly hygiene thing.
Yeah. I mean, you
'Cause,
tend to take care of that.
We have nose hairs, but unless you're like, chasing down buffalo on the plains of Montana, you don't have that much dirt going into your nose that you need that much fucking nose hair.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we tend to take care of stuff like that, like trimming of the nose hair, when we do, and even shaving. Like, I wouldn't even consider shaving like your beard and mustache a hygiene thing, but we tend to do it while we do those other things because we're in the bathroom, we're brushing our teeth, we're washing our face, we're taking a shower, we bust out the razor and the buzzer and nose hair.
Right, because
gone.
otherwise you're not unhygienic, but you look like a slob.
Right.
John says, well, if he starts to braid them nose hairs, then that is a problem.
Right. Yeah. I guess people, like, some people are just, like, naively can, like, have it fall into the hygiene section because we take care of it when we're doing hygienic stuff and it's in, like, the same aisles at the store, right? Because they try to group all that stuff. But it's the same thing as, like, when they say, when people call eggs dairy. It's like, it's not really dairy. It's just kept with the dairy.
Right.
So.
But again, that's why I give her a little bit of a pass on that one. But the other one, the unibrow one, straight up and down asshole. What a bitch. Chuck says, wow, being judged on ethics by Casey Anthony. I am writing this on my bucket list. And that's the show. Thank you guys for showing up and welcoming me back to YouTube. Am I the Asshole Show? I'm going to start doing this again on a regular basis. I appreciate you all. Anthony, thank you for co-hosting with me. It was great. It's great. It was fun. A nice little break. But now I got to get back to work.
Back to work. Yeah, me too. I'm editing the parts of the Hunting Alice script, so yeah.
Perfect. I got some commission work I got to get back to work on. No, Chuck, I am not always the asshole.
It's true. He's not always the asshole.
But frequently, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you all. Much love. I'm out of here. Peace.
Adios.